Yes, sir.
So you have modulus function. Okay. Now what is the modulus function? Fx is equal to mod x. This is a modulus function. Okay. Now what does modulus mean? Modulus function, remember, can always be written in two forms. The first form is for x greater than or equal to 0, it must be equal to x. And for x less than 0, it must be equal to minus x. Now, why is this? Let's say you have mod of minus 3. What is your answer for mod of minus 3? What is the mod of minus 3?
3, sir.
3. And how are you getting this 3? Do you know how you are getting this 3? You know actually what is happening? See, within this modulus, what do you have here? You have x, which is equal to minus 3, right? So actually we are considering this case, right? So x is less than 0.
Yes,
In
sir.
this case, what is the value of the modulus? Minus of
Mm.
minus 3.
Minus 3.
It becomes plus 3. So that is why when x is less than 0, mod x is equal to minus x. And of course, when x is greater than or equal to 0, say mod of half, then obviously it will be half only. So no problem, because here x is equal to half. And so this will be equal to x. Since x is equal to minus 3 here, we are getting this as minus x, minus of minus 3. Understood? So
Yes, sir.
this is very, very important. Please remember this, okay? This is very important. You will require this later on. Fine. So that was modulus function. We now move on to a function which just want to you just want to know, but we won't come across this kind of a function. It is called the greatest integer function. Very, very rarely you will come across this kind of a function. Greatest integer function. Okay, the greatest integer function will look something like this. Fx is equal to, you have box brackets, and within this we write x. Now does this box bracket mean? For this box bracket, suppose we want to find the greatest integral function of minus 1.3. Okay, now 1.3 is a decimal number, right? What is the greatest integer after minus 1.3? It is minus 2, right? So we take minus 2.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I want to find out the greatest integer function of minus 2.7. What is the greatest integer for minus 2.7? Minus
Minus
3.
3.
Suppose I want to find out the greatest integer for 5.6.
6.
In this case, it will not be 6. In this case, it will be 5.
Oh,
Suppose I want to
greatest
find
integer.
greatest integer, because see, minus 1 is here, right? So minus 1, after minus
Yes,
1
sir.
comes minus 2, and minus 2 is the
Yes, sir.
greatest integer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here if you see, 5.6 is there, but 5.6 is positive. So that is why we take the greatest integer 5. Next is say 7.9. So we'll take 7 only. Understood?
7.
So for positive
Yes, sir.
numbers, we take this number as it is, and for negative numbers, we take this integer, the integer after this integer. That is, for minus 1, it will become minus 2. For minus 2, it will become minus 3. Okay, but for positive numbers, we only take this integer 5.6, so 5. 7.9 for 7. That is what your greatest integer function is about. Okay, very rarely you will come across greatest integer function, and they have very interesting graphs. If you draw the graphs of these functions, they have very interesting graphs, but we don't require them. So right now we'll focus on sums. Next type of function is called signum function. you will never come across this kind of function, or you may come across say in one or two sums. Okay, as modulus function only you will come across. It is a part of modulus function. Okay, so a signum function will look something like this. Fx is equal to mod x by x for x not equal to 0, which is equal to 0 for x equal to 0. This is what signum function looks like. Okay, now signum function can further be simplified. Signum function can also be written in this manner. Fx is equal to, now you know that the modulus function you have already shown you here, right? Fx is equal to mod x is equal to x if, when x is greater than or equal to 0, is equal to minus x when x is less than 0. You have a mod here, isn't it? So what you can write here is you can break this part into two parts. That is, you can write this as fx is equal to x by x for x greater than or equal to 0, isn't it? That is the definition of modulus, is equal to minus x by x for x less than 0. You can write this,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? But here we will not take the equality sign because we already have a value for 0, is equal to 0 for x equal to 0. You can break it in this way. Why did I remove this equality here? I removed this equality here because I saw that at x is equal to 0, I have a particular value of the function. See here, at x is equal to 0, don't I have the value 0 here? That is why I removed the equality from here. That is why I removed this equality. Okay, so which can now be written as in this manner. So that means now this can be simplified very easily. This can be written as fx is equal to x by x is 1 for x greater than 0, minus 1 for x less than 0, and is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0. Now check whether this is clear. Signum function can be written in three ways. This two ways, this way or this way. This is just an intermediary step that I have done for you. This one. Check whether you have understood, because this is a part of modulus function. We will be coming across modulus function very frequently. You should be very comfortable with modulus. This okay?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. And next, another important type of function you will come across very frequently in class 12, even and odd functions. You will come across this in your mainly in your integration part. Even and odd functions. Now, what do you mean by even function? First, we define even function. A function fx is said to be even if f of minus x is equal to fx. Okay, take an example. Suppose question is check whether fx is equal to x square plus 5 is an even function. Okay, now how will you proceed? See here, the function is given to you, right? So what you do is we find out f minus x. So we have, what is f minus x? Devanjan, can you tell me what is f minus x? From fx, can you find out f minus x? Yes, tell me fast. Do you know?
Minus x square.
You simply replace x by
No, sir.
minus x. You simply replace x by minus
Yes,
x.
that only.
Okay, so minus x square is again x square plus 5. So what are you getting? You are getting back fx, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you see? Here f minus x is equal to fx, right?
fx. Yes, sir.
So that means we say therefore fx is an even function. Okay. Now let's say check whether sin x, cos x and tan x are each even or odd functions. Let's say let me define even or odd function first, then I will do this sum. Okay, odd functions. Next definition. Odd function. A function fx is said to be odd if f minus x is equal to minus fx. Clear?
Hmm.
Now I'll give you this question. Check whether each of sin x, cos x and tan x are even or odd. Okay. First of all, I start with sin x. I say let fx is equal to sin x. Therefore, what should be f of minus x? You replace simply x by minus x, right? Now, sine
Yes,
of
sir.
minus x from negative and associated angle. What do you know? What is sine of
Minus
minus?
sin x.
Minus sine x.
Minus sin x.
So what are you getting? You are getting fx, isn't it? Sin x is fx, but with a negative
Yes, sir.
sign. That means this is equal to
Yes,
minus
sir.
fx.
Minus
What
fx.
what have you shown? F of minus x is
Odd
equal to
function.
minus of fx.
Minus fx.
So therefore, fx is an odd function. Okay. Next one. Let us say let gx is equal to cos x. Is this even or odd?
So,
Find out g of minus x. G of minus x is equal to cos of minus x. And what is cos of minus theta?
cos x.
Cos x. So what are you getting? You are getting gx, right?
Gx.
So what is it? Even or odd?
Even.
Even function. So therefore, g of minus x is equal to minus gx. Hence, gx equal to cos x is an even function. What about tan x?
Again, similarly odd,
Odd.
like the sin x.
Similarly, you can similarly, tan x is an odd function. Okay, that's it. What about cosec? Is cosec even or odd?
Cosec is
Cosec
odd.
x, cosec x is odd. What about cot?
Cot is odd.
Cot is also odd. What about sec?
Sec is even.
Even. Okay, so that is the definition of even and odd functions. Very simple definition of even and odd functions. Okay, you can be given a problem, say to check whether this function is even or check whether this function is odd. That is the kind of question that can be given. Very simple. Now we come to the main
Yes,
part,
sir.
which actually carries marks. Every year this type of question is given. Okay, and this such questions will teach you a lot about certain special types of functions, like say inverse circular functions, about logarithmic functions, exponential functions. Okay, you will learn about what types they are. The question here is find the domain. Find the
Domain
domain.
of a function.
Yes, find the domain of the following functions. I give you 3 or 4 functions here, and we'll work out how to find out the domain. first function is fx is equal to log x square minus 1 to the base 3 plus x. This is the first one. The next function that I would like you to do here is fx is equal to sine inverse log x by 3 to the base 2. And the next one is fx is equal to log x plus 3 to the base 2 divided by x square plus 3x plus 2. Okay. And finally, number 4 is fx is equal to log 2 plus x by 2 minus x to the base 3. Okay. These are the 4 functions which you will be required to find out the domain of. Let us start with the first one, and today this is the only one that I'll do. Okay, rest I'll keep them as it is. First one, given fx is equal to log x square minus 1 to the base 3 plus x. Now, for any log function, what happens? For any log, if I write fx is equal to log x, when I say log x, I mean there is a base here, okay, and there's an x here. Tell me, is log defined for everything? Is log defined for all the values of x? If you remember back in class 9, I told you that log is defined, log x is defined for x to be for only positive x, right? Log x is defined for positive x, right? And what is the next restriction that I told you? In fact, I don't remember telling you this, but remember that for log to be defined, the base of the log has to be a positive number
Yes, sir.
and not equal to 1. Okay. So if these two restrictions are satisfied, then your log will be defined. Okay. You can find out the value of log. So now coming back to the problem, we have x square minus 1. So here, first of all, x square minus 1 must be greater than 0. It must be positive according to the first restriction here, right? That means x square must be greater than 1. Sorry, not 0, 1. Now, if x square greater than 1, what does this inequality mean? What is the solution of this inequality? Can you tell me? Or we can work from here also. X square minus 1 greater than x square minus 1 is greater than 0. That means x plus 1 into x minus 1 is greater than 0. Right? What is the solution of this inequality? Remember when I was doing your quadratic inequalities, what did I tell you? That if you have a greater than sign here, that means x is less than minus 1 and x is greater than 1, right? Isn't it? So this
Yes, sir.
inequality x square minus 1 means x is less than minus 1 and x is greater than 1. This is I told you when I was doing quadratic inequalities. And what is the next restriction? Next restriction is that 3 plus x cannot be equal to 3 plus x must be positive. That means 3 plus x must be greater than 0, the base of the log. That means x must be greater than minus 3. Also, 3 plus x cannot be equal to 1. That means 3 plus x is not equal to 1. That means x cannot be equal to minus 3. Right? So x is not equal to -3 and x is greater than -3. And what else? X does not lie between -1 and 1. Now look at the number line. In this number line, x less than -1 means this is the region that I'm talking about, right? X less than -1. X greater than 1 means this is the region I'm talking about, right? On the number line, right? What else? X greater than -3. X greater than -3, which is the region that I'm talking about?
Yes,
This is the
sir.
region that I'm talking about, right? And x not equal to -3. So that is okay. We have already given the curved this curve here, which means x not equal to -3. Now, of these three regions that I have given you here, which is the common region?
-1 to 1.
Huh?
Minus- There is no common region though.
There is no common region.
So -1 to 1.
-1 to?
+1.
No, that does not include actually. There's nothing here. Okay, so what you see here is what are the acceptable values here. Therefore, the domain of
Domain is from -1 to -infinity and
minus
for -1 to -infinity.
-1 to -infinity or -infinity to -1.
-infinity to -1.
Sorry.
-infinity to -1. Okay. What else?
And from it is from 1 to +infinity.
Okay. Now there's a small mistake here that x cannot be equal to -2, not -3. Okay. So -2 is included. So there's a break here. Okay. So when I say x cannot be equal to 2, there's a break here. Okay. So that means there's a break here at -2. Yeah. So now what happens? What is the common region now? So first of all, you see you come from -3 to -2. -3 to -2, right? So -2 is included, excluded. Next, what is the next common region? -2 to -1, right? This is the next common region. Union -2 -1. And what is the next one? Union, and then it runs from 1 to infinity.
Infinity.
This is the common. This is your domain. You understood what I want to say here? It is not touching -2. See, from -3 from here till your -infinity. This is not a common region, right? What is the common region? If you see, this is the common region, isn't it? This is the common region. Again, the common region starts from here. Again, the common region starts from here. And then the common region again starts from here till +infinity. Okay, so this is your,
So,
yes.
if any kind of function is given like x plus 3y is equal to 12
Hmm.
and the n belongs to natural number, x and y both belongs to natural number,
Hmm.
then what we will give input as if x is equal to 1, then y, the resulting value of y should also be in natural number, not in fraction, no.
Yes. So what is the question?
X plus 3y is equal to 12. It is
X
a
plus
fun,
3y
it
is
is
equal to
a
12. Okay, fine.
x and y both belongs to natural number.
Where x, y are both natural numbers. So x, y belongs to the set of natural
And
numbers.
the domain and range of the, yeah. of the function.
Which this is not a function. This is an equation you are giving me. And this is a function of two variables. I'm talking about a single variable. We are still dealing with functions of single variable. You have given me two variables, x and y. So give me y in terms of x. Okay, say you can give me it in this way. Y is equal to 12 minus x by 3. You can give it to me in this way. This will be y is equal to fx. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So now you tell me what is your question.
So we have to find domain and range. That's it.
Domain and range of this function. What is your
Yes,
domain
sir.
and the codomain set? Tell me.
Nothing was given. 1 minute.
If nothing was given, you assume real numbers. If nothing was given, you assume real numbers. X belongs to R. That means your domain should be the set of real numbers. For every real x, you are getting a real number. So domain should be equal to the set of real numbers. And the range, for every x, you are getting a particular value of y. Range should also be the set of real numbers. If nothing is given, you assume real numbers. You don't have any reason to assume.
It was given that x and y both belongs to natural number. So what
So f n to n.
we will
So f n to
yes,
n.
sir. N to n. Yes.
That is what I was asking you. If n to n is given, then your domain is n. Okay. What about the range?
Range should also be n.
The range, you will only take values that are in natural numbers. That's it. So range is equal to
To 3.
first of all, you can
3.
take yes, 3 you can take.
X has 3.
12 minus 9. 12
9
minus
by
3.
3.
So this is 3.
9. 9 by 3, 3.
Yes. 9. And then what 12 0 you cannot take. Okay. So
Yes, sir. 0
f n to
can
n.
take.
No, wait. The point here is f. This is not a function at all. If you are defining f n to n, okay. If you are defining the function in this manner, f n to n defined by fx is equal to 12 minus x by 3, right? This is not a function at all, because for every element in the domain set, you're not getting an image in the codomain set.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So for x
Then
is
it
equal
is-
to 1, are you getting an image in the codomain set? No,
No,
you're
sir.
not, because this is a set of natural numbers. So that means this is not a mapping. This is not a function at all. Understood? This may be a relation, but this is not a function.
Hmm.
Understood?
Then it is a relation, no.
Yes, it is a relation. It is not a function.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So I stop here for today.
And so we can't
Yes.
include 0 because we can't include 0 because it is x and y both belongs to natural number, right?
Yes. You cannot have x is equal to 0 because x and y both are natural numbers. Okay.
Okay.
So that's it. So I stop here for today.